The air split with a scream of rubber as I slammed my truck's brakes, coffee erupting from my thermos and splashing across the windshield like a caffeinated Jackson Pollock. My heart jackhammered, not from the mess, but from a surreal scene unfolding in broad daylight. A swarm of strangers raided my storage shed like it was a Black Friday clearance, hauling out my gear with the casual entitlement of a yard sale mob. At the center, clipboard in hand, stood V. Holt, our HOA's self-crowned dictator, her smirk sharp enough to cut glass. I threw the door open, boots crunching gravel as I charged forward. What the hell is this? A guy dragging my chainsaw froze, while another hoisted my fishing rods like trophies. V. turned, slow and deliberate, her floral scarf a mockery of innocence. Calm down, Ethan. The HOA voted. Your shed's now community overflow. You weren't using it. Her voice dripped with the kind of condescension that makes you want to punch a wall. Community overflow? I spat. That's my land, my shed, my stuff. She shrugged, tapping her pen. Bylaws, Ethan. You got the notice. Notice? I'd have remembered that kind of insanity. My eyes darted to my grandfather's restored canoe, its hull scraping dirt as a kid yanked it toward a pickup. My pressure washer teetered in a wheelbarrow, and I swear my backup generator was already halfway down the street. I whipped out my phone, camera rolling. Smile, VYN. This is hitting the internet, then my lawyer. Her lips twitched, but she held firm. Don't be childish. The board's acting for the greater good. Greater good? I built that shed myself. Every plank and screw bought with my own money, on land my family's held for decades. I pointed at the gate, its lock dangling, cleanly cut. Explained breaking and entering to a judge. VYN's eyes narrowed, but she waved her crew off. Let's go, everyone. They scattered, tires spinning, Leah VYing my lawn scarred and my shed VYOLAT. Inside, the damage hit like a fist. My tool wall was gutted, wrenches and drills gone. A tarp was peeled back, exposing my grandfather's 1950s dirt bike, its chrome tank scratched deep enough to make my chest ache. Worst of all, a greasy Taco Bell bag sat on my workbench, sauce packets oozing like a taunt. Sleep didn't come that night. I scoured the HOA bylaws on my laptop, finding a vague clause about communal use of underutilized property after 90 days murky, probably illegal, but enough for VY in a twist. An old email from 6 months back mentioned storage discussions in one line. No details, no vote. They'd banked on me not noticing. By dawn, anger had forged into a plan. I launched my drone. It was a vow of payback. It caught my neighbor Tim using my lawnmower, another tying my canoe to his deck, and VY and herself directing someone to stash my patio chairs in her garage. I clipped the footage into a 2-minute bombshell titled HOA Raids My Shed and dropped it on the neighborhood's Facebook group. It exploded 400 likes in an hour, comments ranging from "This is theft" to VY and's gone rogue. She posted a reply, "All honeyed nonsense. The board values fairness. Let's discuss calmly." Someone shot back, "Fairness doesn't include bolt cutters." The HOA hit back by noon, emailing 4 fines: obstructing access, my gate; VY Soul nuisance, my shed; unauthorized recording; and community disruption. VYN's note at the bottom read, "Cooperation is in everyone's interest, Ethan." I laughed, forwarding it all to my cousin Rachel, a real estate lawyer who lived for HOA takedowns. She called giddy. "They broke your lock, stole your stuff, and now they're whining? This is a gift. New locks, every document now." I wasn't stopping at defense. If VY thought my shed was her playground, I'd make her choke on it. I drove to a locksmith named Pete, a wiry guy nursing a Coke outside his van. "You cut my shed lock, didn't you?" He nodded, uneasy. "HOA gig. Holt lady. Had a letter, looked legit." I pressed. "She show a deed? That's private property. You trespassed." Pete's face fell. He emailed me the Lettera flimsy HOA memo claiming my shed was communal, signed by VY. No legal teeth. Back home, I found my gate swinging open again. This time, they'd gone full circus, Tables line my driveway, my tools and tarps displayed with price tags, a sign reading neighborhood swap. Vivine stood at a folding table, sipping lemonade, scribbling sales. I stormed up. Selling my property now? She didn't blink. Board approved, Ethan. You missed a vote. I started recording. Say it louder, Vivine. You're selling my stuff on my land without permission. Her smile wavered, just for a second. Then, a miracle. A news van from Channel 5 pulled up, tipped off by my post-traction. A reporter hopped out, camera rolling. Vivine switched to pageant mode. We're promoting community sharing. I stepped in. This is my shed, my land, my belongings. They broke my lock, forged papers, and now they're running a garage sale. I've got proof and a lawyer. The camera caught a neighbor dropping my drill, eyes wide. Vivine stammered, but the reporter pressed her, and the crowd started whispering. By dusk, the tables were gone. I called my buddy Nate, a contractor with a grudge against bureaucracy. Under floodlights, we swapped every lock steel bolt for the shed, a tank-like gate latch. I slapped up signs, private property, trespassers prosecuted. On camera, 2 new security cams went up, one glaring at the shed door, another sweeping the drive. This wasn't just security, it was a line in the sand. Vivine struck back at dawn, 5 fines taped to my door. Illegal construction, the locks, hostile signage, camera violation, disrupting unity, and public intimidation. I snorted, snapping photos for Rachel. She called them legal tantrums and had me draft a cease and desist, listing the lock cutting, theft, forged memo, and sale. It warned of lawsuits for damages if they didn't back off. I dropped it in the HOA's mailbox, filming every step. Next morning, a gray SUV blocked my shed, a note on my door, communal access. Move it. Hole. I snapped a photo and called Joey, a tow guy who'd back me in a bar brawl. By midnight, his truck purred as he hooked the SUV and a second car nearby, both gone in minutes. I staked notes where they'd been. Towed for trespassing. Joey's lot. Fees apply. My driveway gleamed empty by sunrise. Vivine rolled up at 8 a.m., red-faced with 2 board members and a guy wah-VYing a camcorder like it was 1995. You stole my car, she shrieked. I held up the cease and desist. You were served. You trespassed. I've got footage and a lawyer salivating. She ranted about HOA authority, but I cut in. You're not a cop, Vivine. You're a retiree with a power trip. The camcorder guy bailed mid-tirade. The neighborhood group chat lit up, a blurry pic of Vivine's meltdown captioned, Vivine versus the toe. Comments split, half cheering, half clutching pearls. I got a summons to an emergency HOA meeting in a neighbor's garage, a sign reading community crisis. 30 people crammed in, Vivine at the helm, voice trembling with fake hurt. Ethan's tearing us apart. I stood. You broke my lock, stole my tools, sold my canoe, and forged a letter. I've got emails, footage, and your signature, Vivine. Want to talk unity now? A woman named Linda, once Vivine's cheerleader, frowned. Forged? What letter? Before Vivine could spin, a resigned board member, Greg, spoke up. I saw it. She told us to act like Ethan's shed was ours. Said he'd full. The room turned. Neighbors demanded answers. Where was the vote? Why the secrecy? Vivine shouted betrayal, but Greg said, no, it's accountability. 2 board members quit on the spot. Vivine grabbed her clipboard and fled. A week later, a summons hit my porch. Vivine was suing for property interference, distress, and slander, claiming my videos and toe humiliated her. I laughed till my ribs hurt, then sent it to Rachel. She's begging to lose, Rachel said, filing a countersuit for trespassing, theft, and damages, demanding HOA email records. A nervous ex-board member, Carla, slipped me a drive with emails where Vivine bragged. Ethan's too soft to fight. Take it all. Court day came. I wore a clean button-up, steady but ready. Vivine sat with a lawyer who looked half asleep, her folder a mess of papers. Judge Larson, A sharp woman with zero patience read both claims, then stared at Vivian. You entered Mr. Reed's property, sold his belongings, ignored a cease and desist, and now cry defamation. Vivian's voice cracked. He shamed me online. People stare at the bakery. Larson cut in. Did you forge a document claiming his shed was communal? Vivian mumbled. We believed. Larson shut it down. Answer. Vivian admitted it, barely audible. Rachel presented our case. Photos of the broken lock, the scratch bike, the sale, drone clips, the memo, Vivian's emails. Larson watched the sale footage, lips tight. After 15 minutes, she ruled. Plaintiff's claims dismissed. Countersuit granted. MS. Hold. Pay due law $15,800 for damages and fees. Cease and desist is permanent. Next violation brings penalties. Vivian deflated, her lawyer silent. I walked out, lighter than I'd felt in months. I carved a sign for the shed. Reed's retreat. Trespassers towed. I glued a plastic lizard below, labeled HOA repellent. Neighbors snapped selfies, calling it lizard law. The new board sent a repair check and a bylaw letting owners opt out of communal nonsense. A few apologized, one returning my chainsaw with a beer. Vivian, rumors said she'd moved to a gated community, already stirring drama. I leased half the shed to a woodworker named Sam, who needed space for oak beams. He paid fair, respected boundaries, and gifted me a carved stool. The shed became itself a haven, not a war zone. One night, I found my grandfather's old journal, his scrawl reading, "Hold your ground. Thieves come and go." I grinned. He'd have loved the lizard. The neighborhood exhaled. No more petty fines, no more clipboard queens. We had a cookout. No HOA rules attached. Sam brought cedar planks. Linda offered cookies, saying, "That lizard's a legend." I didn't crow. I didn't need to. The shed stood firm, cams rolling, lizard watching. Some battles you win loud. Others, you win steady. I picked steady, and my ground held. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.